So you could imagine that a Senna Seraphine would kind of fit into their wheelhouse. However, they've decided it does not. They're going to ban that one away and look to see whether we can place him just on his bot lane.
Oh yeah, and
in this one.
with the Zeri and Lucian bans, I think the bot lane is just getting more and more honest all the time. We might even have a Jinx or a Felios game on our hands, and I'd love to see that. As we will see the Nautilus also taken away here from Keria in the bottom 2v2. A lot of resources on both sides here committed to the bottom of the map.
It's a very interesting Nautilus ban to come through there. I wonder what that means for Gen G as far as their first pick is concerned. Corki is looming and has been a big one for both Faker and Chovy, as we illustrated in our points of the match earlier on. And T1 are going to recognize it and ban away to Corki right away.
This allows Gen G to pick the Azir first, but this Nautilus ban does kind of lead me to believe they had a different idea in mind here. The
Wukong is available as well.
Wukong is also potentially going to be traded to T1 if they go for that Azir pick. They will pick it up, and I've said this a lot, but I will say it one more time, maybe two more times, depending on how many times we see the series, but Chovy's Azir has been absolutely dominant. It has been beautiful to watch. He's played it aggressively, he's played the Luden's build, he's played the Leandre's Mask builds, he's played so well with the prio he's given in this meta, so I think it's a great pickup, regardless of Wukong's availability here.
Well, Swain is going to be the answer here, and Faker has already dominated an Azir on this Swain pick. We'll see how the rest of the draft is going to shape up around the Swain. Of course, you need to try and bring your opposition towards you, right? As Owner is going to hover Bel'Veth. We'll see whether that is what he's deciding to go with here. With Swain's AoE slow ability, having a champion that just wants to attack super fast kind of makes a bit of sense.
Yeah, I mean, going to lock people in place with Rylai's too, potentially, but just going to be the Wukong the more standard here, which is also great.
Like it way more. Yeah. I don't think Voidmaster Yi is the way.
We're just going to keep teasing, but the Poppy pick here for Peanut is one that is obviously great into Wukong, and one that he has dominated the bottom 2v2 with so hard, and if there is prio for Gen G bottom side, he's going to be down there, he's going to be trying to steal away that blue buff, steal away the Gromp from Owner, will be battling in the early parts of the game. These early game junglers that are rising in priority right now are so good for the 2v2. We don't know what that matchup's going to be yet, but Gangplank also available here.
Yeah,
Not a shock to see that coming through.
I think once again, the Gnar blind pick is just happening all the time, and I still hate it. I just really, it's so punishable. It is so, like, and Zeus is our best Gangplank that we have here. Like, you just can't do that into T1. Doran is going to do it anyway, and we'll see how it does go. But I have to be honest. I don't like it at all.
I like your honesty, and I think it's truth that you're spouting right now in this, because it is going to give a lot of control to T1. It also works extremely well with Swain in terms of early objective control with the Cannon Barrage and Swain's level 6. So first Herald fights, for example, you have that fire. Great. Taking away Rulers, Ezreal here, great option in terms of the range you can have with this already strong mid lane poke that you have with the Azir. And then the Ashe, we've also seen that he's utilized in several different ways so far this season, is also just taken off the board. The vision that Ashe gives for a team that's coordinated as Gen G is just so valuable.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder what that means for what Gumushi is aiming for as his next pick, as Senna will be banned away. I like that ban. Would have been a pretty comfy lock-in here for T1 if they wanted to go there. And adding the extra sustain to a Swain just sounds like a real rough idea. But Gumushi, what is he going to bring to the table here? Tahm Kench available? I think it's a Renata, because
now he can feel very comfortable about if it's an Aphelios pick for Gen G, he can pick away the Jinx. If it's going to be a Jinx pick here for Gen G, he can pick something with a little bit more pushing power here.
And it also denies Tahm Kench, right? Because Renata handshaking the fish. Yeah, Tahm Kench doesn't really like it very much.
I would not mind to see just Jinx Thresh here though for Gen G, to be honest. I think it's still very strong.
Could be an option, and I do really like the Jinx. I think that is definitely part of it. And the Tahm Kench anyway.
So,
Hens.
Então, eu imaginava que
greedy, you know, when there's a Renata on this side, but there's no Draven, there's no Kalista here, right?
Achei que a T1 ia fazer isso, só que eles têm que ficar sempre um separado do outro. E aparentemente a Jinx não vai ser
gonna play like a Varus right now this game, so It really does leave you
Aí como eles vão ter que ficar separados, eles picaram, né? Aí eles não puderam draftar, teoricamente não puderam draftar Jinx e TK, eles tiveram que pegar outra coisa. Aí só que tem a férias de Jinx aqui, tudo da carry, velho. Mano, já baniram 4, 3 aqui, ali foram 3 também, cada muda da carry, velho. Tipo, a The Carry tá no meta, mano, tem que ser no meta, não, velho.
I think there's sort of two glaring issues on Genji's side of the draft. It's the Na and it's the Tahm Kenshin to Renata. I don't like Tahm Kenshin to Renata just generally, but Tahm is very, very valuable as a 5v5 tool, right? Especially when you have a Zero Jinx as sort of your main damage dealers that do a lot of consistent damage. You can definitely see that. On T1's side, it's just range. It's just trying to get to this Jinx that's going to be so safe with Tahm Kenshin that they're going to be attempting to do.
It's going to be, I think, really about Faker here, this game, about how well he plays the Swain and how well the cannon barrages are set up for by Zeus. Because as you said, it's Zeus' best champion this season. He has just been so great at it. Chovy's best champion in the Azir is what we're matching up into here, which is actually so sick in terms of what the scaling aspects here. My concern for Genji is who gets Jinx excited? You have to have a lot of control over the map to actually set up a pick here with the Poppy or the Gnar. When you're running into all the burst damage here and safety with the Renata ultimate, obviously Swain, the Wukong, and then Cannon Barrage, how does Jinx get excited consistently to do that damage? Is I think something that Genji are going to have to solve here.
Yeah, and I think if they play to the beat of T1's drum, it will be very difficult to play out. But let's see how it goes. We hop onto the Rift.
Começou.
All right, and now even though Chronicler and Valdez cannot be here today, I at least can hear from them.
Geração, Jogos versus
and so Chronicler has given this one a slight draft edge to Genji. He's saying about 60-40, but it should be close, as Peanut might interrupt me before I get to talk about Valdez, as he said, as Faker will find the Never Move onto the Poppy.
Never Move.
Peanut, just back away, my friend,
digitou errado,
fraco.
Yeah, that's going to be a
little
bit
Legend aí, digitou H que ele pulou.
Thank you very much.
Já tem vem de Zeus LoL, o
Valdez
do
has a
jogo,
slightly different idea.
Owner
He thinks
LoL,
that Renata and
o
Swain
outro
are
LoL
just
do
kind
jogo,
of busted at this point in time.
Faker LoL já foi
and as play-by-play,
do jogo.
I feel like we are in
Mayushi
sync
já foi o
on
homem do
this
jogo.
one, because I kind of
E
agree. And he thinks the zone control that T1 do have with Cannon Barrage and just Swain existing should give them the edge.
Tem 5 homens do jogo de lado e do outro lado não falei nenhum, você percebeu?
Então, so he's going to go 55,
tem uma coisa errada aí.
I like how it's very close, though,
eu acho que tipo aqui acabou.
I do think that this is not...
We've
seen a lot of draft kingdoms this week, and a lot of them have been
já vazou.
significant, so
Ih,
much so
vazou
that
pop
we're
de
like,
novo.
oh, man,
Mas também tem a ward ali. E eles sabem que tem ward porque eles deram hit. Eles não são burros.
This is one that's going to be very much about how the drafts are played by these two teams.
Não, eles não são burros.
And they both do face challenges, as we've kind of broken down several times here. So I like how we don't have a handicap, right? And I'm so glad that Guma didn't pick Jhin. I was worried for a little bit that was just randomly going to happen.
Só, esse pack foi bonito.
Como
ele fez portada ali, ele saiu pela galinha, os caras vão achar que ele foi fazer a blue side agora, né? Ah, top side, falei errado. E aí ele foi e voltou pra pedra, mano. Ele perde tempo nessa rotação, mas ele engana os caras, né? Por isso que, mano,
and it was a Aphelios Jinx, then yeah, maybe you're going to be able to pull around, but this is with a Tahm Kenshin, so Carrier Gumushi should be able to fight back, but as you can see, the Aphelios win rate here for Guma is actually higher than that of Ruler, even if the sample size is very different. Peanut's going to walk over a ward though. Good vision here for T1 in the early game to deny this like extraordinarily early Poppy gank that I feel has happened all week, Wolf.
It has, and it's very strong, and guess who popularized it? It's the man on the screen right here. Also, Owners started this part of the jungle, so with his pathing here, he's not going to actually have to duel Peanut for Prio there, and Peanut's just going to go to the other side of the map for gameplay. Yep, that ward though gives so much information to Zeus so they can actually push forward here.
Não faz isso com meu coraçãozinho, inclusive.
This has been a trend for the matchup.
Ô, louco, vou ganhar mesmo aqui, ó. Olha lá, chegou o counter strike.
There's the Abyssal Dive, trying to get Lehens out of here. He's going to flash. Ruler holds on to his, very importantly, but now they're going to have to both back away. Tahm Kenshin no flash means that a return from Owner is going to be very potent.
This is not going to be.
Oh man, this wave is also pushing into
Okay.
T1.
So nasty for them.
Loininho.
Peanut just left him out to dry after not having any opportunities. There
Esse
was
cara troca de cabelo
ward,
todo
which
dia,
was
que
well
saco.
placed.
Tem uma vez que
Nothing
tava
was
meio
great for Owner here, and he
roxo,
identified
assim.
the Peanut
Não
left, so he
roxo,
comes
mas...
down. Peanut also, when he's not there
Aquele
for
vídeo que o
the
Luizão
defense,
marcou ele bebendo água lá,
alerts
sabe?
to Zeus, okay, he's probably towards the top side. Peanut
não
just
tá lá
gives up
doido,
on
mano.
even going
Deu
for that
tudo
top side gank onto Zeus and just takes his blue buff, so isn't going to get anything for this. And yeah, the wave state here is really nasty. Look at these minions going down so far away from where Ruler and Lehens are. And they also have that ward there in the brush, as well as under tri-brush. They can see literally everything right now. So even though it doesn't show up in the gold numbers right now, T1 feeling very comfortable about how this exchange went.
Oh, they 100% are. And the thing that's a real worry about this whole situation is the fact that they will automatically lose top. I just don't think that there is a way that Doran's going to win that matchup. So this was going to be one of their pressure points, and I think Peanut playing around bottom lane is what Gen G were kind of relying on in this game. As you can see, Peanut once again in his bottom side jungle. We'll see whether he's going to be over there for that Krug respawn and possibly makes another visit. As you can see, Ruler is actually playing with the range very nicely, as Gumiushi thought he was out of the way of that zap. I kind of agreed with him, not going to lie.
Yeah, and you know, Peanut, he wanted to kind of cancel the plan and go topside, but he just took so long, and it was so apparent to T1. Zeus played that information out so well, and this ward is going to time out just before Peanut goes. If he goes down, of course, via the turret. If he goes next to the tri-brush, he'll be spotted by that other ward, which is still
que a
up for
Pop
a few more
vai
seconds
dar o
here.
gank ali, né? Porque tá avançado ali, vai entrar nas bush e a ward da bush acabou de acabar.
Yeah, we're just showcasing what they can and cannot see, and he will
Ah, mas ele
be
passou.
seen
Ah,
by
onde
this
ele
ward.
passou ali.
So much vision here for T1.
Yeah, Peanut is just getting red this whole game.
And he's done this so many games in a row. T1 just studied his pathing on this Poppy pick when they have Prio on blue side, and they're just playing this so well. Now Owner knows he's backed because he saw him backing on the ward, but luckily there's a ward there to at least.
Yeah, the answering vision is going to be available here. Definitely both of these teams demonstrating that they kind of know exactly where the power points are. And I think that if Gumiushi gets ahead, if Ruler gets ahead, that is going to be a huge boon for either team. Which I guess, you know, is kind of obvious, but still. Yeah, I mean, I think this bottom lane is very, very important for the win.
Meu Deus, eu acho que eu tô vendo coisa. Eu juro que no top tava tipo um silence, mas não um silence. Mano, eu juro que eu vi as correntes, velho.
So this is absolutely going to go the way of Gen G here. So it's still very even, you know, obviously when these minions go down here for Ruler, he's going to shore up some of the CS he lost from that wave state earlier. But, I mean, this is about as even as it gets, and it's so refreshing to see two top teams in the LCK clash like this after what has been a week of a lot
O GP. Mano, não sei de onde que eu vi as correntes, velho.
Those poppy ganks, those pillar ganks coming through.
Nossa.
Literally in the games in the first 5 minutes.
Então, sei lá, acho que eu vi sim.
And we've actually got a huge day of top lane as well, with Doran finding a bit of form here as Gen G continue to win, but Zeus is by far the best top laner we have. And then Rascal and Keen are going to be playing after this. Keen having a very recent great performance. So very much looking forward to seeing how that matchup is going to go. So yeah, we're going to take a step away from some bottom side mismatches and move towards some more exciting top lane matchups instead, I guess. As Lehens moves on over towards
Nossa,
this mid lane.
tava vendo a final do torneio passado, o Chovy falou que ele nunca ganhou uma melhor de 5 do Faker. Uma melhor de 5, no caso que é 3. Ele nunca ganhou uma melhor de 5 do Faker. Nossa.
Rift Herald because they don't have vision of Owner right now. He puts a ward down, Faker does, in the pit, so knows that it is not being taken, so buying him a lot of time. And neither of these teams are really priced in with their compositions to force a fight here. Obviously, the
torneiozinho também ele nunca ganhou uma LCK também.
I think it does slightly
Foi
favor
tudo vice.
T1. As Rivers tried to give everyone a jump scare there, but
yeah, a little bit.
I think T1 with Cannon Barrage and the Wukong ultimate, there's a lot of power with Swain there, but he didn't have the prio, so they just don't.
Look, pegou 6.
Well, Gumiushi's going to get sped up and going to do a fair bit of damage here to Ruler.
Será que não compensa queimar flash por flash? Não, acho que compensa, hein?
Time to go aggressive. I like that T1 utilizing that. Noon Quiver is completed here for Gumiushi. Also has some brown bags. And Ruler, item parity pseudo, but also he's cashing in that cull. Chovy and just going to be chilling now as, okay, flash out from Carrier. Handshakes Lehens. And yeah, that was a handshake in agreement, as there's a flash forward. The flash tongue lash from the Tom Kench, as there's the knock up onto Carrier. He's going to burn down, and he's not going to get bailed out from this one. Ruler wanted to pick up the kill, but Lahens, he'll take it, and first blood goes to Genji. Once again, Peanut.
O nome do que da Renata chama aperto de mão mesmo em português?
Nossa,
os caras chamam de handshake.
Yeah, that's the vision of Empire to come through as well, just to try and deter them. But Gumushi, with so many of these chakrams, is able to 1v2 away. The never move doesn't connect, but it is Faker that secures his blue buff. Peanut not able to get the smite. He had to use that, I think, to keep himself alive.
And all of this is predicated on the fact that T1 waited until Chovy backed to actually start up Herald, as Owner wants to set up for a gank.
Tem visão, velho. Olha o cara. Nossa, cara. Olha o cara.
Does have his Narbar.
Você é louco, o cara jogou demais.
He was playing around that ward.
Deixou
so cute. Was Doran just making sure the ring around the Rosie was being played, trying to give away as little as possible information about what he knew. It was very, very cute.
Yeah. So T1 get Herald for first blood going over to Tom Kench. Still a very even game here, but Genji winning out in terms of the exchanges on the map and all that assist gold, putting them in a pretty decent advantage. That'll of course be stored up by Rift Herald in a moment's time. Still a very even game here, and it's hard to really quantify who gets ahead. I would give a slight lead to Genji in this exchange. So we're going to go back to this replay.
Esse que é o ruim de assistir esse cara. Você corta 5 da manhã e tem uma kill aos 10 minutos. O Brasil já tá 3-2. É mais feio, mas tá 3-2
já.
Tem uma partida que só sai, a primeira kill saiu aos 34 minutos, velho. Foi aquela frente que eu mandei ontem lá. Pro 34 minutos tava 0-0. Imagina eu acordando 5 da manhã pra ver um jogo daquele. Ainda bem que eu não torço pra dar um velho. Time ruim, mano.
Zona just really desperately wants to get. I mean, the T1 way is to get Herald and then, of course, instantly gank and drop it into gold as fast as possible. Don't waste any time trying to look for Herald opportunities, force them instead. But because of that really well-placed ward door on the top side you pointed out earlier, and how safe Genji are playing bottom side right now, he just isn't finding his angle just yet.
These control wards are actually just fantastic. For Genji right now to try and protect against this exact play.
They know it's coming.
Well,
não, ele sabe, certeza. Agora sabe agora.
Thinking about a back timing, but he walks over vision. Gumushi going down relatively low. No flash on Carrier, remember. Zap goes wide. And Carrier looking for this one. Steadfast presence. Vision of Empire is going to show Peanut as he walks towards this brush, and T1, they're just like, come on guys,
Faker has Cryo, or rather Chovy has Cryo, excuse me, in mid, and is going to come over here with Emperor's Divide. You've got to be careful, T1.
Yeah. Okay, going to interrupt that one. Great handshake. That guarantees the Drake here. Carrier just taking matters into his own hands.
Presente. Pegou na pontinha ali, mas só dá pra pegar pop mesmo.
And the Vision of Empire tries to stop that minion from going down. He just barely will get it and get out. But that was a really well-placed ultimate there from Carrier.
Aquela presença de peso.
They should be able to kind of fight away and take the Drake. So tying us
Macaco.
Aí, mano, os caras matou ele embora, não deu um tapa, velho. Que saco.
Really
tapa,
here, and I think that Carrier will need to keep
ela tem jogo que nem o Nara ali, ó. Olha o Nara ali no mapa ali, ó.
Actually win fights. Moonlight Vigil's going to come down. That should be able to stun up Ruler, but the Flame Trump is in great position. Another ulti comes out as now Owner is going to get caught. The Steadfast presence comes in. He does have Cyclone, but unfortunately the Alcove Gaming's not working out. And in goes Chovy, manages to pick up Carrier as well. Will go down. Peanut wants to stop this Rift Herald. And oh my goodness, the heroic charge will deny the charge of Shelly. I guess Poppy's got a better charge than the Rift Herald.
Nossa, mano.
That's just how it goes in this early game, and Guma is going to be forced away here too. He's not going to be able to catch these minions. Peanut's coming for another pass. He's got flash up. You've got to get out of here,
Yeah, we've seen this one before. The missile dive comes through as Peanut is going to say that he's okay with just a flash.
And Chovy just goes straight back to lane with the teleport. Doesn't care, doesn't lose anything for this commitment over. Faker with Unsealed Spellbook could not actually match rotation. He switched it to teleport after the fight happened. He was waiting in base for that, you know, timing, the channel time on the switch of the Unsealed Spellbook, then just teleports back to lane where Chovy already is. So Chovy loses nothing for this rotation, and it's just a really well-timed gank here. And roam from Chovy there, so well set up from Peanut, gets the double knock-up, and they just expected this so hard.
No, it was really beautifully done. Also utilizing the fact that when you interrupt Poppy's ultimate, she gets refunded some of the cooldown. So because he still had it, because Hostile Takeover interrupted it instead of him actually whiffing it or using it, it does mean that he gets to come over and do exactly this.
Yeah, it's a fantastic point you raised. Chomper placement forces the flash out of area, but they're so far deep here that the Rift Herald gets knocked back. Now Owner is insulated. And look at how far down Chovy is. Faker gave up on the rotation. He backed, right? He's looking to get full health and get that teleport back, but he's still in animation on that rotation. You see it there on the bottom of your screen. So Faker can't be here. It's not a winning fight. They push the Rift Herald away, deny it. And this is a fantastic swing of gold to Gen G. And so much farm denied from Guma.
Yeah, you can see Ruler just happily chilling out here. Vision of Empire. It does mean that Ruler takes a turret shot. Nicely done there by Faker, but this turret's not going to be long for the world. And Ruler will be able to do some of the Tristana tactics, right? You move your Jinx around and pick up as many of these structures as possible and really start this snowball moving. It's the classic Jinx Azir early game strat, as Doran does have Mega available, but Zeus has Owner available, which I'd say is a little bit stronger. Doran just going to tidy the wave there with his ultimate.
They want to force it back there to trade, potentially a Herald and turret for this bottom push.
Well, that was a bit of a preemptive devour there from Lehens, but it still will guarantee. Oh, never mind.
And it's still going to
be Cannon Barrage. They are definitely going to do a ton of damage. The minions are definitely gone, though. Lehens is going to survive. Never mind.
And at the top side of the map, it's a Herald taken here, 4T1, but they weren't able to turn that into turret and Herald, which is what the gank attempt for Owner was for. Chovy he's doing a lot. He's got 3 stacks.
Red, white, don't fight, but maybe don't fight Chovy. Who is just taking a lot of control here. Peanut thinks that it might be his opportunity, but Carrier can just say no.
And this is another reason why Jinx in this year, which has been a Gen G staple forever of all rosters for them, even when it was BDD and not Chovy. Ruler playing this Jinx with the Azir, regardless of mid laner, is so strong into Aphelios in neutral fights like this because the Aphelios is also outranged by good Sand Soldier placement from the Azir, and so Guma gets chunked down so easily when Chovy has these angles. And they were trying to maybe find that top turret. Were denied, of course, by good positioning from Doran and that Narbar. They get the Herald, try to find a pick mid there, and then just Chovy doesn't even flash. He actually wins the trade there, basically by himself, while there are 3 members of Gen G on the bottom side. Gen G are out-macroing T1 right now, which is something we very rarely say those words out loud.
And this was after, I think, the early game went very well for T1. Like, they read Peanut like a book. They knew once again exactly where he was going to be, but we're going to see another fight here. Owner, that's not the real one. So the Monkey's going to be absolutely fine, but the first Infernal Drake is on everyone's mind right now. Gen G with full control of the area, though, and there's no way T1 can even fight for this.
Zeus has no teleport, so
no ulti either.
He stayed down here because he thought maybe they're going to need my damage if we're going to contest. Because like you said, if he has no ult and no teleport, he can't be on the top side, so there's no cross map available here. So, yeah, Gnar just gets to go bottom and take that farm. And Zeus will push topside here, but it's going to be answered by Chovy. T1 are not able to make any cross-map play here. They just lose a Drake for free, essentially. Really unfortunate here for the squad. This game is not over by any means, even though it is a massive lead for Gen G here. But T1 are going to somehow have to win a miraculous fight or set up some really awesome vision here on these next objectives if they're going to have any hope. Because otherwise, they're just starting to really fall behind. And when you're behind the face of this Azir Jinx into a very low-range Swain, Aphelios comp, you have a lot of problems if you don't have to set up first on team fights. If Zeus doesn't have a barrel chain ready for you when you walk in.
And also, I mean, we saw what Faker was capable of doing against Closer's Azir. He really did make him look silly. The domination that T1 had in that game was very impressive, but I think this might be a different story. And we'll have to see whether Faker can land a few of these flashes over these Emperor's Divides.
Yeah, that's what
he's going to be trying to put out.
Because, like, Faker hasn't actually had the opportunity to be relevant this game. He hasn't been able to be in fights because Chovy's Azir naturally gets you prio in this matchup, and I'd say most Azir players will be able to get you a little bit of that. but Chovy's decision-making, his rotations have been crisp, and Faker just hasn't been able to get any of that early game Swain power that you have with Cannon Barrage. And because the focus has been bottom side so much here for Gen G, and Chovy got that early kill, didn't lose anything for it, Faker's just kind of been behind the curve this game, and he will have that opportunity to shine in later teamfights. Does have his stopwatch for the next one potentially here, but so far he just hasn't been able to actually use this Swain just yet. So let's not judge it before it actually happens, but he might not get a chance still if this map is just continually under Gen G's control.
Well, if you out-tempo a Swain, it's actually really hard for him to find his way back in. However, Teleport's going to come through. Shirley looking for a charge, and she will get one this time. Also comes through from Peanut just to deny the 5v5, but it's just Gumayusi. And he is going to run his way back. Doran throwing around some boomerangs and avoiding quite a bit of what Faker was throwing out here. Nicely done. Lightning Hands not quite working out.
I mean, even the Gnar creates somewhat of a range problem here for T1.
Moonlight Vigil goes wide. Shifting Sands going to be used there from Chovy means that he can't use it anytime soon. However, this tower still goes down and Ruler gets excited. Carrier taking a lot of damage. Good utilization of the package there from Ruler, understanding that he can just sidestep basically everything when he has so much movement speed.
I mean, the T1 are getting T1'd by Gen G. This is just Gen G being as oppressive as T1 was all spring season when they were on that perfect season tear, 18-0. Yeah, the siege is incredible. Carrier has to ult defensively here to try to turn this around, but there's a Sun Disc turret here.
Peanut really didn't want to flash. He was like, Lehens, devour me. And Lehens was like, just flash, man. I need this devour for Ruler.
It's true.
At least that's what I assume is what happened, because I think you can devour over that wall.
There is a 2-item Jinx here, and Azir who's not going to mass build this game because of the state of
cara, porque acho que não dá pra comer o cara naquela parede ali gigante. Acho que não dá mesmo, né? Eu não sei o range, mas acho que não dá.
Here is so smart, grabs himself the start of a Morellonomicon to deny some of that healing from Gumayusi in these team fights.
Yep.
And well, it actually finishes the Morellonomicon and picks up a needlessly large rod because he has so much money.
Nossa, eu reportava o Azir.
Have so much money. Like out of nowhere, it's like a 6.5k gold lead. Like they've taken 4 turrets, and that's where all of this money is, right? Like the inner turret going down in the bottom lane is actually just huge as Carrier is here for a counter gank opportunity. But I mean, this is nutty. I can't believe we just looked at the top of the screen and then all of a sudden, Gen G are making all of that bank.
They had about a 4,000 to 5,000 gold lead after that bottom side play from Chovy, and then they just turned it into oppressive map control everywhere. As Lehens just going to use this to take the shield away. But I was going to mention, with all the items that Gen G have, at 21 minutes, they can do Baron very quickly. I think they're probably still waiting on Ruler's 3rd item before they try to do any sneaks or anything like that. But that's the one last step for Gen G to be full-form T1 from Spring with the lead they have, is to actually sneak a Baron. That's the one thing they haven't done yet, but I think they're still trying to play it safe. Look at the line of wards they have across the river. There's nothing that T1 could do. There's no flank angle. Not that they have anything outside of a Wukong who could really flank. But their options are so choked out. They're so limited. Gen G are really putting the noose around T1 here, and they're ready to kick the chair out from under them in this next fight. 5 seconds to Infernal. They have full control of that zone.
Yep, Infernal Soul going to be well and truly on the table here. That's going to immediately be taken. Lehens rotating over as there is a turret taken. Bounties are available. Faker completes his Rylai's Crystal Scepter, so that is Imperial Mandate value well and truly online, but it's just whether or not they're going to be able to utilize it, right? Because range advantages are so much more pronounced when you're ahead. And Never Move will connect, but
verdade, os outros não falou que ia aparecer, não?
And every time this Luden's procs on Gumayusi, T1
Cadê Mr.
Dag? Means that he has to back away. In this case, it's just going to fully back.
Nunca aparece. Esse cara não é de verdade, não.
So we were very close to Ruler actually getting a 2-item advantage against one of the most famous AD carries.
Então, né, mano? Os caras não tem comprometimento.
This turret is not one for this world. Cannon Barrage committed here. Defensively, doesn't save the turret. There is no turn.
So
desperate for anything.
Yeah, and Ruler can still stand forward because that Devour is still available. Lehens.
Já não dá mais, deixa quieto.
Imagina um mundo normal que uma pessoa tinha 5 da manhã. Alô?
Alô?
Esse jogo da TV.
Alô, você pra mim.
And this snowball is just rolling so quickly down the hill. Gen G are just not giving T1 any options, and this is not a game where, like, Zeus is sitting in side lanes. He was able to get that top outer turret, you know, but that is the only turret T1 have managed to get this game, and Doran has been able to keep him relatively down.
And I think a lot of people will look at this, the game state here, the gold advantage is... I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to talk about this. Zeus is looking for the flank here.
Yeah, there's the flash hostile takeover, but Peanut just runs really fast. Ruler does have flash. Now Chovy looking for Faker. Emperor's Divide is going to get rid of the demonically ascended Swain. And now Chovy's running for the hills because there is an angry pirate moving up towards the pigeon, but Peanut is there. Vision of Empire going to spot Chovy, but not going to land the damage.
That was one of the craziest attempts to flank we have seen in a while, and it was a really cool idea. If you get that carrier ult to pop off, Zeus gets around the edge there with a barrel chain. Maybe you can actually find this one place where you can punish Gen G, and they almost pulled it off. Then they were like, all right, this works twofold because then we collapse on top of the Azir, but Chovy was too safe. Pushes Faker away, commits his ultimate, knows that he has just enough time to escape there, and even turretless on the top side, he will get out. But what I was going to say before this flank attempt was, I think people might incorrectly identify this game as, well, T1 just don't know what to do when they're behind. They're so very rarely in a position where they're the ones with one turret versus 6. But I think it's more about Gen G playing an oppressive game here. Look at the item difference here we were talking about earlier. Almost a 2-item spike advantage here for Ruler. He gets Infinity Edge just as the Lord Dominix is completed.
And also he has the Kraken Slayer as well. Like, it's so much raw damage that this Jinx has available just because Tahm Kench affords you that, right? Because you have basically double cleanse, and the cleanse that Tahm Kench has with his
Mano, diferença de gold, velho.
than the original, because it gives you that gigantic shield of destiny. So it's gonna get zapped. Owner over the wall. Looking, yeah, Ruler is very close to the Ruler position right now. This is dangerous for any Gen G fans. I could feel the blood pressure increase in this room.
Owner's just hoping for a Cyclone angle that he's just not going to get. 2 control wards committed. That's 150 gold to try to hope for a prayer, a dream here. Ruler, again, getting dangerously close just for a moment, but Gen G are very
Sabe quando você coloca a mão assim pra tapar o sol do olho? Ele tava fazendo isso com ele.
Even the Ruler has olhando pra parede. He's been very well far enough away.
No, absolutely. We're waiting a minute. I think Gen G not going to flip any Barons. I would not recommend that. As Peanut throwing a buckler around. I'm nervous even about that, you know? The Blacksmith Poppy. Like, he's such a hipster, isn't he? Is like Lollipoppy or like, is this Blacksmith Poppy?
I don't know, it's Red Poppy, that's what I call her.
Yeah, this is the other one. Never mind, but it's another old Poppy skin.
I do want to point out that T1 have incredible pick potential here with all the CC they have and the Renata ult. If somebody makes a mistake, even the Poppy will not be safe. Like, T1 are really hoping for that error. That unforced error, if there's just one small mistake, maybe there's a window back in. That's what they're hoping for so desperately and setting up Vision for, but hasn't happened yet. His owner is once again trying to find any angle. Is Ruler going to greedily come up here to help?
Oh, it's Ragdoll Poppy.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Poppy's, like, she's had, like, 4 million skins, I think, is the approximate amount of skins that she had quite early as Super Mega Death Rocket, just to make Gumayusi feel nervous about standing close to this minion wave. Yeah, but it's not actually going to eventuate in too much.
Both the Ludens and the Ludens procs we've seen Chovy proc on him so many times and the Rocket are just starting to be a big problem. It's almost like we have a Ziggs here and a Jinx in one.
Doran? That's a little bit frightening.
He's got Narbar and T1 don't have vision, so he can hold this choke.
Yeah, and Flame Trumpers are also pretty dang good at that, as there's the Flash Gnar from Doran just buying space. They pick up the Infernal Soul, and he's going to get Handshake back. So that's a dead Gnar. First kill goes over to T1. And now Gen G are just trying to get out of there. Chovy, oh my god, the Sand Soldier damage is pretty nutty. He's got a Shadow Flame completed as well.
A little bit of a disconnect here, though, frankly, for Gen G.
Oh, man. Are they just going to walk over to the Baron and take it? And then Chovy is going to deny anyone doing anything? Because look at his burst damage. It's insane.
Shadow Flame getting so much value here as Gen G will just take this Baron.
This gatekeeper is here. He sets up the Sand Soldiers in front of the Baron and says, you're not allowed to come in here. And now he's looking for Gumayusi. Like, what is this conquering Sands damage?
He has flash too. Like, he almost could have just solo killed as the fans are going nuts here on the Gen G side of the arena as the Baron is taken. I think the one thing we criticize is Doran didn't need to flash forward there. I think there's a bit of a disconnect there between him and the rest of the team because he's hoping for a Jinx reset here as they get this Infernal Soul. And look, the choppers are well placed. He's got such a long Narbar and has Lehens near him, so he feels pretty safe in this scenario. But like I said, there's so much CC here. T1 don't want to be going that far forward, but he helps guarantee.
No, I love the play from Doran. I actually love it. Like, he knew that he was going to die, and by the space. That's fantastic. Let's see whether Doran can win this 1v1 as well, as Nevermove is going to go slightly wide. Doran chasing after Faker. He would have liked to stay in any form, I think, as he would have been able to keep chasing, but now T1 have found the Na yet again, and I think he's just definitely dead this time. Faker kiting really beautifully here, and does have the stopwatch, and mistimed Na.
This is a win for Genji, though.
Goes wide.
Genji's getting an inhibitor. They're like, yeah, cool, broke your stopwatch, you killed an R. I don't care at all, even slightly. I've got a prop.
Is that why you pick Na, Wolf? You pick Na so we can just be bait all game? Is that the plan?
I mean, that's how Doran's playing it here, and it's working out. He's made 2 great sacrifices now to get Genji the lead.
Oh my god, Rule is, that crit onto Owner was obscene. And they, so it is Na for, okay, Rule is getting excited. Zaya's gonna have to run. Rule now taking a lot of damage, though Moonlight Vigil goes wide because the Devour was there from Lehens. Faker now trying to frontline. Rule is gonna have to flash to get out of the cannon barrage. But Carrier is chasing him down with a hostile takeover. It just barely is out of range as Genji are gonna be bullied out as somehow Azir kills Guma. I'm not sure how Chovy did that, but he did it. He has so much damage, and he's still inside the base. Faker goes golden, but the bailout is not going to be there for Carrier, and eventually the Swain will die, and Zayas finds himself outside of his base. These Sand Soldiers, the amount of damage that Chovy has done, he just stood his ground.
If Zayas could have bought time for a Cyclone, there's a chance here. He's level 16, but it's just going to be so difficult. Owner Cyclone coming up soon.
Yeah, and Peanut is fighting against Zayas here, and it's once again just buy time so that we can take down these Nexus turrets. There's that Cyclone that you were talking about, but Owner is just immediately destroyed. Chovy's damage is just way too high this game, Wolf. It's just insane. Nexus is going to go down, and Genji will take game 1 against T1.
Very aggressive lead for Genji, a snowball that